Senator Huff.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, SB 478 creates a 5-year voluntary pilot program for up to 10 counties at the request of the Department of Social Services and the County Welfare Directors Association. The program allows specified mandated reporters to make initial reports of non-urgent child abuse or neglect to the Child Protection Agency through a detailed and comprehensive online report, freeing up phone lines for crisis and emergency reporting. By virtually eliminating wait times, an online reporting system will increase efficiencies at every level of the non-emergency and emergency response services. SB 478 will be an excellent resource to help county social workers assess and respond to child abuse and neglect cases in a timely manner. Assembly amendments for technical...
Excuse me, Senator Huff. Colleagues, it's really getting noisy and we've just started, so if we could pay attention to the presenting Senator Huff, please go on.
Thank you, Madam President. Assembly amendments are technical in nature. The bill is sponsored by LA County. The County Welfare Directors Association has received unanimous support in both houses. I ask for your aye vote.
Any debate or discussion on this item? Any debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none. Any objection to substituting a unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 37, no 0. Assembly amendments are concurred in. Next item is file item 40. Senator Bell. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 513 by Senator Bell, an act relating to vehicular air pollution.
Senator Bell.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, this bill, SB 513, is back for concurrence. It's a bill that updates the successful Carl Moyle program, which is now about 17 years old. This is a program that deals with retrofitting things like buses, school buses, other low-emission programs to clean our air. The bill was amended in the Assembly to authorize the program to provide grants for replacement, repower, retrofit of school buses consistent with the low-emission school bus program. Now, the Assembly amendments also made other technical changes. The bill is sponsored by the California Air Pollution Control Officers, which is made up of all the executive directors of the 35 air districts in California, supported by a variety of public health and business groups, including the California Trucking Association, and has no opposition and has strong bipartisan support. I urge and I vote on this concurrence.
Thank you, Senator Bell. Any debate or discussion on this item? Any debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, is there any objection to substituting a unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 37, noes 0. The Assembly amendments are concurred in. Next item is file item 41, Senator Hall. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 549 by Senator Hall, an act relating to gaming.
Yes, thank you, Madam President and members. SB 549 reduces the sunset from 5 to 3 years and the amendments reduces the sunset from 5 to 3 years and add reporting requirements. I respectfully ask for your aye vote and concurrence.
Is there any debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Aye. Bell. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. Aye. Galgiani. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Aye. Huff. Aye. Jackson. Lada. Aye. Leno. Leyva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. No. Morlock. Aye. Morrell. Aye. Wynn. Aye. Nielsen. Aye. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Aye. Stone. Aye. Vidak. Aye. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk. Wolk aye. Bell aye.
Please call the absent members.
De Leon. Fuller. Galgioni. Jackson. Galgioni. Galgioni, aye. Leno. No.
Ayes 35, noes 2. The amendments, Assembly amendments are concurred in. File item 42, Senator Hancock. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 644 by Senator Hancock, an act relating to state employment.
Senator Hancock.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, SB 644 permits a person with a developmental disability to successfully complete an internship in lieu of the currently required written examination to qualify for consideration for a civil service employment under the LEAP program, which is a state program to facilitate the hiring of people with disabilities. Senate amendments or Assembly amendments clarify that the internship is a choice, not a requirement, and sunsets the program in 5 years. I respectfully ask for your concurrence in the Assembly amendments.
Debate or discussion on this item? Is there any debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, is there any objection to substituting a unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 38, no 0. Assembly amendments are concurred in. Next up is file item 43. That's my measure. I'd like to pass temporarily and bring it up in a bit. And then we have file item 44, Senator Mitchell. File item 44, pass on file. File item 45, Senator Leno. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 682 by Senator Leno, an act relating to courts.
Senator Leno.
Thank you, Madam President. SB 682, colleagues, is back on concurrence. The bill itself will ensure that court resources are spent most effectively at the request of the courts. The Assembly amendments expand the existing exemption for contracts with other local government entities to all government entities, and also remove some reporting requirements. I ask for your concurrence on the Assembly amendments.
Debate or discussion on this item? Senator Morlock.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm still concerned about limiting outsourcing to our various departments, including the judiciary. They're not excited about this bill. We've got a worldwide economy that's slowing down. We're still doing fine in the United States, but costs are rising, and the growth of our manufacturing in California is not even close to the national averages, and our pension costs are going up. We've got to keep looking, colleagues, at ways to cut costs. We've got to give management the tools they need, and I stand opposed to Senate Bill 682 respectfully. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Morlock. Is there any further debate or discussion? Senator Leno, you may close.
Thank you, Madam President. I had no intent in redebating the bill itself, but since the opposition on the floor has made some comments, I do have to defend the bill. This bill does not prohibit the court from contracting out. It merely requires that they meet the same thresholds as all other state operations when they contract out. So they can do so if there is a fair cost analysis, proven savings to the taxpayers, competitive bidding, disclosures on the part of the contractor, no displacement of employees, and performance and financial audits. That's good government policy. And then I will spare you the list of 12 exemptions so that in emergency situations or temporary, urgent, or occasional services, or the contract is for services of any court interpreter, there are 12 exemptions. So this is good government operations. I ask for your concurrence on the Assembly amendments.
All debate having ceased, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. No. Bates. No. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. No. Block. Aye. Cannella. No. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. No. Galgioni. Glazer. No. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Weso. Huff. No. Jackson. Aye. Lada. I, Leno. I, Leva. I, Liu. I, McGuire. I, Mendoza. I, Mitchell. I, Monning. I, Morlock. No, Morrell. No, Wynn. No, Nilsson. No, Pan. I, Pavley. I, Roth. Runner. No, Stone. Vidak. No, Wykowski. I, Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Please,
West, aye.
please call the absent members.
De Leon. Fuller. Galgiani. I, Roth. I, Stone. No.
Ayes 24, noes 14. Assembly amendments are concurred in. Senator Gaines, for what purpose, sir?
Thank you, Madam President. Under motions and resolutions,
Without objection?
at the request of the author, please remove AB 679 from the inactive file. This is item A18.
That will be noted.
Great.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
File item, back to the third unfinished business. File item 46, Senator De Leon, we will pass temporarily. File item 47, Senator Leno, do you wish to take up that item? Pass on file. File item 48, Senator Bates, do you wish to proceed on that? Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 722 by Senator Bates, an act relating to sex offenders.
Senator Bates.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, Senate Bill 722 is back for concurrence in Assembly amendments. The bill authorizes a felony penalty of up to 3 years for child molesters and rapists who willfully remove or disable a GPS tracking device. The amendments that were taken in the Assembly Appropriations Committee remove the rebuttable presumption that the person intended to evade supervision. It only applies now to dangerous supervised persons as distinguished from other supervised persons who, without this intent, nevertheless allow or cause their GPS to fail. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Bates. Any debate or discussion on this item? Any debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, is there any objection to substituting a unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 38, no 0. Assembly amendments are concurred in. File item 49, Senator Leno. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 731 by Senator Leno, an act relating to foster care.
Senator Leno.
Thank you, Madam President. Colleagues, the bill requires that child welfare workers and caregivers consider a child's gender identity when making decisions about placement in our foster care system. The Assembly amendments were just technical in nature. There is no opposition to the bill, and I ask for your concurrence on Assembly amendments.
Debate or discussion? Any debate or discussion on this item? Seeing and hearing none, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I, Anderson. No, Bates. Bell. I, Berryhill. Block. I, Canella. I, De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. Calgiani. Glazer. I, Hall. I, Hancock. I, Hernandez. I, Hertzberg. I, Hill. I, Wesso. I, Huff. Jackson.
Aye.
I, Lada. I, Leno. I, Leva. I, Liu. I, McGuire. I, Mendoza. Mitchell. I, Monning. I, Morlock. No, Morrell. No, Wynn. Nilsson. No, Pan. I, Pavley. I, Roth. I, Runner. Stone. No, Vidak. No, Wykowski. I, Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Please call the absent members.
Bates. Berryhill. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. No. Galgiani. Aye. Wynn, no. Runner, no. Berryhill, no. Huff. Mendoza. Aye.
Ayes 26, noes 10. Assembly amendments are concurred in. Our final unfinished business item is file item 50 by Senator Hill. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 741 by Senator Hill and Act relating to communications.
Senator Hill.
Thank you, Madam President. SB 741 ensures there is transparency when police use devices that capture cell phone data and has received unanimous support. Assembly amendments remove the remaining opposition by clarifying that a sheriff doesn't need Board of Supervisors approval for this technology, but still needs to notify the public and comply with the privacy policy required by the bill. Thank you. I respectfully ask for your aye vote, members.
Thank you, Senator Hill. Debate or discussion on this item? Is there any debate or discussion on file item 50? Seeing and hearing none, is there any objection to substituting a unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 38, noes 0. Assembly amendments are concurred in. Colleagues, we are going to move to file item 54. This is Senate third reading, file item 54 through 58. And we will start with Senator Runner. Do you wish to take up file item 54? Pass on file. File item 55, Senator Mendoza. Do you wish to? Senator Mendoza, file item 55, would you like to take it? Pass on file. Senator Hill, file item 56, pass on file. File items 57, Senator Hueso, not at his desk. Senator Hueso, do you wish to take up file item 57? Pass on file. File item 58, Senator Hall, do you wish to take up this item? File item 58. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Resolution 47 by Senator Hall relative to Diabetes Awareness Month.
Senator Hall.
I'm sorry, Madam President, I'll pass on file.
So noted.
Thank you.
All right, we are going to go to Assembly third reading. Assembly third reading. We will continue with Assembly third reading until the noon hour, when we will take a 1-hour break for lunch and be back at 1 o'clock. And we will start Assembly third reading, file item 77. We will go file item 77, 78, 83, 84, 85, and 86 will be the first items. So if you have one of those, please be prepared to take it up when it is called. We're going to start with file item 77. File item 77. Senator McGuire, Mr. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 1031 by Assemblymember Thurman and Act relating to public employee health benefits.
Senator McGuire.
Good morning, Madam President. AB 1031 came out of the Assembly Public Employee and Retirement Committee with unanimous support, and off the Assembly floor with zero no votes. The bill corrects a minor inconsistency in state law that has been problematic for many years. It does not interfere with the collective bargaining process and is revenue neutral for the state of California. This bill will require an employer that contracts CalPERS for health care to continue to meet its obligation to provide any collectively bargained, statutorily required, or vested post-retirement health care contribution, which may include reimbursement of Part B premiums owed. It does not impose any new benefits. It does not impose any new requirements to reimburse under Medicare Part B. Again, AB 1031 has received bipartisan support and has no opposition. Would respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Senator McGuire. Is there any debate or discussion on this item? File item 77. Any debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Aye. Bell.
I'll take them.
Aye. Berryhill. Block. Aye. Cannella. Aye. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. No. Galgiani. Aye. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Aye. Huff. Jackson. Aye. Lara. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. No. Morrell. Wynn. Aye. Nilsson. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Stone. Aye. Vidak. Aye. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Senator McGuire places a call. Colleagues, we are going to run through the roll one time, and then all items will be placed on call as there are members coming back and forth, I think, over in the Assembly. So we will be calling it one time and then placing all items on call. We will go to file item 60. Senator Hertzberg, you're up. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 277 by Assemblymember Roger Hernandez and Act relating to elections.
Senator Hertzberg.
Thank you, Madam President. More than 50 years ago, the federal government enacted the Voting Rights Act. Often is the case, we've copied that years later with our Voting Rights Act, but often with respect to these kinds of legislation, it's never perfect in the beginning. There are always a series of cases, litigation, that tests, that determines what that should look like. In California, recently we had a case, a Court of Appeals case, the Hardigy case, which dealt with the issue of district elections, how folks and communities are properly represented under the Voting Rights Act, and what we're doing with this measure is codifying the language, the holding that upholds for charter cities and for charter cities the obligation to have district elections. It is simply, it is codifying the case. And for those who are interested, that citation is Hardigy versus the City of Palmdale, 226 Calap 4th, 781. Ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Hertzberg. We will be taking a recess to read that case. Is there any debate or discussion? Any debate or discussion on file item 60? Seeing and hearing none, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Bates. Anderson, no. Bates. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Block. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. No. Galgiani. Aye. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Huff. Jackson.
Aye.
Aye. Lada. Leno. Aye. Leyva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monty. Aye. Morlock. No. Morrell. No. Wynn. Aye. Nielsen. No. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Stone. No. Vidak. No. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk. Wolk. Hueso, aye.
Senator Hertzberg moves a call. Moving back, file item 78 we will pass temporarily. File item 79. File item 79. File item 83. File item 83. Senator Wolk, do you wish to take up file item 83? All right, we will move to pass on file item 84. Senator Pan. Pass on file item 85. Senator Allen. Senator Allen, file item 85. Pass on file item 86. Senator Liu, pass on file. All right, our next group, 92, 95, 98, 101, 103. File item 92. Senator Hueso, not at his desk. File item 95. Senator Leno, do you wish to take that up? Pass on file. File item 98. Senator Leno. Pass on file. File item 101. Senator Leno. Pass on file. File item 103. All right. We have a winner. File item, is it 101? File item 101, Mr. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Joint Resolution 16 by Assemblymember Eduardo Garcia relative to blood donations.
Senator Leno.
Thank you, Madam President. Just by coincidence, in the Maddie Lounge the other day as we were having lunch, I was sharing with some of you that when I was on the County Board of Supervisors, this goes back about 15, 16 years, there was a notice on my desk that we could participate in a blood drive. We had a chronic blood shortage in San Francisco, and I thought, and it hadn't been many years since I'd done so. and was preparing to participate, and then I read the fine print and realized that for any man who has had relations with another man since 1977, thank you, were prohibited from donating blood. The problem with that prohibition, of course, it came out of the HIV/AIDS epidemic. I am HIV negative for the past 35 years. What people don't recognize is that when we screen for blood, there are about 5, 6, 7 further screens before it even gets to the blood supply, for all good reasons. Of course, absolute safety of that supply is necessary for obvious reasons. But the current federal standards ask the wrong questions. It's not with whom you have been, it is what you are doing. But as a gay man, I cannot donate blood, but a heterosexual man can be out having anonymous sex every night of the week doing, I won't even tell you or suggest what, and because of who he is, he can donate blood. So this resolution, which is sponsored by Equality California, and has been introduced in response to the FDA's new blood donor guidelines that continue to discriminate against gay and bisexual men. The new proposed FDA guidelines would prohibit all gay and bisexual men who are sexually active within a 12-month period. The resolution calls on the President to encourage the Secretary of Health and Human Services to direct the FDA to develop science-based guidelines that focus on risk assessment of individuals instead of the arcane standards that continue to discriminate against gay and bisexual men. When you think about it, it gets to the core of the discrimination, the fear that historically has existed, finally and slowly dissipating about who gay people are, and that there is something risky and dangerous about my blood. It's nonsense. The resolution asks the President to urge the FDA to use science-based determinations. I know it's often a wild idea to actually use science-based determination, but that's what the resolution calls for. I hope you can see why this makes sense. 15 years ago, we did a little number crunching and realized that we could turn San Francisco's chronic blood shortage into a surplus if just 10% of all HIV-negative gay men in San Francisco donated blood just once a year. People need blood, safe blood, of course, for many reasons. There's no reason there's no science-based reason why we should have blood shortages anywhere. I ask for your aye vote.
Debate or discussion? Senator Pan, followed by Senator Anderson.
Thank you, Madam President, Senators. I, too, rise in strong support of this resolution as not only a physician, but a former board member of our local blood bank. I know how important it is to be sure that we keep our blood supply safe and also ensure that we have an adequate supply of blood and blood products that are needed to save people's lives. The original FDA regulations, I think, were promulgated at a time of uncertainty and, I would say, fear. But we have good science to show how to keep our blood safe, and the FDA needs to follow that science. And in fact, many organizations, including the American Medical Association, the American Association of Blood Banks, the American Red Cross, have all stood and said that the science is clear, that in order to keep our blood supply safe, we need to change the rules, that the rules that they exist now are not really about, do not lend to increased safety in our blood supply. So I strongly stand in support of this resolution. We need a science-based approach to ensure we have both a safe blood supply and an adequate and good blood supply so we can continue to save lives through our blood transfusions and blood products. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Pan. Senator Anderson.
I also rise in support. I will, in 1984, we didn't have the science we have today. We didn't know how to screen for AIDS. We didn't know how to screen for a lot of diseases. But here we are 31 years later. Science has come a long way. This should be science-based conclusions. It shouldn't be based on phobias or anything else. I will say there's many things risky and dangerous about the floor manager, but his blood is not one of them. And if I needed his blood, I wouldn't hesitate to take his blood. In fact, on many of his bills, I try to take his blood, or a little bit of it. But we need to focus on ensuring that we have the filters against tainted blood, and they should be based on science. Too many lives can be saved if we allowed more people to participate who are healthy and can participate. So I would urge our members to vote for this. I think that when we're looking at these types of issues, they should be science-based. I agree with the floor manager. I agree with the author. I urge an aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Anderson. Any further debate or discussion on this item? Seeing and hearing none, Senator Leno, would you like to close?
I ask for your aye vote.
All debate having ceased, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Block. Aye. Canella. De Leon. Fuller. No. Gaines. Galgiani. Aye. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Weso. Aye. Huff. Jackson. Aye. Lara. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Mendoza. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. Morrell. No. Wynn. Nielsen. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Stone. Vidak. Aye. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Senator Leno places a call. File item 103, Senator Block.